Today I want to show you how to use MLA documentation for our textbook. Our textbook is what's called an anthology. An anthology is a collection of articles, essays, poems, artwork created by multiple people but put together into a single book. Hence we call it an anthology. The book has an editor. There are two ways that we can do this. First of all, if you're taking only one work from the anthology, okay, so you're just using one article, for example, you want to remember that you list it by the author who wrote the article. So here in chapter 1, last essay was by Stephen Asma. So we put last name first, Asma, comma, Stephen, period. Okay, pretty normal for MLA. Then we put in the title of the essay, Monsters in the Moral Imagination, in quotation marks. You remember from our earlier discussion, the MLA format sheet, smaller works are put in quotation marks, larger works are italicized. Well, the larger work is the anthology itself, Monsters. That is italicized right here. Monsters is now in the second edition. And it's important to know that because, of course, different editions have different articles, different authors. They're not always the same, hence a different edition. So the second edition comes next. Edited by, write the words edited by out, and then the name of the editor, right there, a comma. And the publishing house, remember we got rid of the city of publication, that's no longer important. Bedford St. Martin's, okay, comma. Year of publication is 2020. Page numbers reflect the page numbers that the article appears on in the book. PP stands for multiple pages. So PP 59, there's a hyphen, 65, period. This last item is a little unusual. Book Monsters is part of a series. When we have a book in a series, we can put the series name as the last thing in the entry, a Bedford Spotlight Reader. How do you know that? Well, if you look at the title page, that's what it says, period right there. Okay, so that's what you do if you're only using one work from the anthology. Now, there is something called the cross-reference form. You use the cross-reference form if you use multiple works from the same anthology. The idea of the cross-reference is you don't have to list the entire anthology and all of its information every single time. You only list it once. Now keep in mind a couple of things. Everything is in alphabetical order. Okay? No matter what we're talking about, it's in alphabetical order on the Works Cited page. So the first article is the Guillermo del Toro Chuck Hogan piece. Please note that only the first author's name is inverted, del Toro, comma, Guillermo, comma, and then Chuck Hogan, straightforward, period. Then the title of the article, in quotation marks, the period right here, Why Vampires Never Die. Then here, the cross-reference works this way. The name of the editor, Hoffman, is put next. Right? We don't have to put the title or any of that other information. Why? Because when I cross down to here, it says Hoffman, comma, Andrew J., comma, editor, Monsters, second edition, Bedford St. Martin's, 2020, a Bedford Spotlight Reader. So in other words, I got all the book information in one place, one time. I get to that just simply by citing the editor's last name. Then there's a comma, and then the page numbers on which Why Vampires Never Die appears, pages 35 to 38. Hitchcock, Susan Tyler, period, conception in quotation marks, Hoffman, multiple pages again, 23 to 24, period. And then, in alphabetical order, this follows Hoffman, Klosterman, comma, Chuck, period. My zombie myself, why modern life feels rather undead, period, quotation mark. Again, reference to Hoffman, the editor, comma, PP, stands for multiple pages, 39 to 44 period. So you will likely be using our textbook in many of the essays that you write for this semester. It's a good idea to know how to cite the textbook properly. Please consult with this when you do.